Basketball wasn't just a game to me, it was a war, a battle against my opponents, against time, against the limits of my own body, and most importantly, a battle against myself. Every single time I stepped onto the court, I played like it was my last game, because someday it would be. And that's the Mamba mentality. It's not just about working hard, it's about obsession. It's about pushing yourself so far beyond the breaking point that your competition doesn't even understand what they're up against. I didn't just play basketball. I lived it, breathed it, studied it, and mastered it. You wanna know how I played? Let me show you. People saw me hit game winners. They saw the 5 championships. They saw the records. But what they didn't see were the hours, the 4 a.m. workouts, the 1,000 shots a day, the nights spent studying film until my eyes burned. When I was 12 years old, I played in the summer league and didn't score a single point all season, not one. You think I felt sorry for myself? You think I gave up? No. I worked every summer after that. I outworked every single player around me. By the time I was 17, I was dominating. That wasn't talent, that was obsession. Most people work hard when someone is watching. I worked when no one was watching. I wasn't interested in being great. I wasn't interested in being great. I wanted to be the best. And that only happens when you're willing to suffer for it. So the next time you feel tired, the next time you want to sleep in, the next time you feel like skipping practice, ask yourself one question. Do you really want this, or are you just saying you do? You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't understand the game, you'll never reach your full potential. See, most players just play, they go through the motions relying on raw athleticism. That's why they don't last. I studied the game like a scientist. I broke it down piece by piece, move by move. I knew my opponents better than they knew themselves. I memorized their tendencies, their weaknesses, their fears. I watched tape until I could predict what they were going to do before they did it. I didn't just play basketball, I understood basketball. How does the defender react to a hesitation move? How does the spacing shift when I drive left versus right? How does a team adjust after I hit 3 shots in a row? I saw everything. And because I saw everything, I controlled everything. That's why I played the way I did. That's why I dominated. Basketball isn't just physical, it's mental. And I made sure my mind was sharper than anyone else's. Pressure, I loved it. Big moments didn't scare me, they fueled me. Because I understood something most people never do. Pressure isn't real. Pressure is just fear of failure. But failure is only failure if you let it stop you. I missed more than 400 shots in my career. I lost nearly 600 games. I missed 26 game-winning shots. Do you think I cared? Every miss was a lesson. Every loss was fuel most players overthink in big moments. They hesitate, they freeze. Me, I trusted my work. I had already put in the hours. I had already earned the right to take that shot. When the game was on the line, I didn't feel pressure. I felt prepared. And that's the secret. If you put in the work, if you sacrifice, if you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, then pressure disappears because you already know the outcome. You win. If you were in front of me, you were my enemy. I didn't care if we were friends. I didn't care what people thought. If you were trying to take what was mine, we had a problem. That's why I studied my opponents so deeply. I wanted to know their strengths and weaknesses, their habits, their insecurities. Because when the game started, I didn't just want to win, I wanted to destroy you. If you thought you could guard me, I took that personally. If you thought you could outwork me, I took that personally. I played with a chip on my shoulder and I kept it there for 20 years. Because the moment you get comfortable, you lose. You want to be great? Take everything personally, make it fuel you, make it push you beyond what anyone else is willing to do. The reason I played the way I did, the reason I pushed myself to the absolute limit was because I knew one day it would end. I never wanted to look back and wonder, what if I had worked harder? What if I had given more? So I gave everything, every ounce of effort, every drop of sweat. Because in the end, all you have is your legacy. The records, the rings, the awards, those fade. But the impact you have on people, the inspiration you give to the next generation, the fire you light in others, that lasts forever. That's why I kept pushing. That's why I played through injury. That's why I never let up. I wanted to show the world what was possible, because that's what greatness is. It's not about how many points you score. It's about who you inspire. Most players want to shine under the bright lights, but they forget that true greatness is built in the shadows, in the smallest details of the game. Flashy dunks and highlight plays might get the crowd going, but without solid fundamentals, it all falls apart when it matters most. I never ignored the basics. I mastered them. Footwork, shooting mechanics, passing angles, defensive positioning. These weren't just drills to me. They were weapons. Every move I made was calculated, precise, and efficient because I had trained them thousands of times before. My fadeaway jumper wasn't just talent. It was an art I refined through repetition and study. Most players get lazy with the details, but details separate the good from the great. If you don't respect the fundamentals, you'll never dominate the game. Hard work isn't a cliche, it's a requirement. People love to talk about greatness, but few are willing to pay the price for it. From the moment I entered the league, I made a decision. Nobody would outwork me. While others were sleeping, I was in the gym. While others were taking days off, I was putting up shots. The 4 a.m. workouts weren't just about conditioning my body, they were about conditioning my mind. If I could push myself when no one was watching, then there was no way I'd break under the lights. Hard work isn't just about effort, it's about creating a mindset where you refuse to be outdone. If you want to be the best, you have to do what others won't. You have to push past fatigue, past doubt, past every excuse. When your competition is resting, that's your chance to gain an edge. That's how you separate yourself. Basketball isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. I never just played the game, I controlled it. Before I even stepped onto the court, I had already begun the battle in my opponent's mind. I studied them relentlessly, learning their weaknesses, their fears, and their habits. If I knew a player hesitated when pressured, I pressed him harder. If I saw doubt in someone's eyes, I made sure to exploit it. My goal wasn't just to win, I wanted to break my opponent mentally. Trash talk, intimidation, relentless effort, these were all tools in my arsenal. I wanted my opponents to know from the moment the game started that they had no chance. If you want to dominate, you can't just play the game, you have to own the mind of your competition. Pain is inevitable, but quitting is a choice. Throughout my career, I played through injuries that would have sidelined most players. Broken fingers, sprained ankles, torn ligaments. None of it stopped me. Why? Because pain is temporary, but your legacy is permanent. Too many people use discomfort as an excuse to stop, but the truth is, pain is what separates the strong from the weak. The moment you decide that pain won't control you, you unlock a new level of mental toughness. The game isn't about how you feel, it's about what you're willing to sacrifice. I refused to let pain dictate my future, and that's why I kept playing, kept pushing, and kept winning. If you want to be great, you have to be willing to suffer for it. If you don't evolve, you get left behind. The game of basketball is always changing, and the moment you stop improving, someone else takes your place. I never allowed myself to stay the same. Every offseason, I added something new to my game. When my athleticism declined, I became a better shooter. When teams double-teamed me, I improved my passing. I studied, adapted, and transformed so that no matter what, I remained a dominant force. Growth isn't comfortable, but it's necessary. Too many people settle once they reach a certain level, but that's where they lose. You have to keep sharpening your edge, keep learning, keep pushing yourself. The moment you stop evolving, your competition wins. If you want to stay on top, you have to be willing to reinvent yourself again and again. Pressure doesn't break you, it reveals you. Most players feared taking the last shot. They feared the expectations, the weight of the moment, the possibility of failure. Not me. I lived for those moments. I wanted the ball when the game was on the line because I trusted my preparation. I wasn't scared of missing because I knew I put in the work. Fear is what holds most people back. But fear is just a test. Will you rise or will you fold? The greatest players, the greatest leaders, the greatest minds, none of them ran from pressure. They embraced it. You can't be afraid of failure. You have to attack it. Every mistake, every miss, every loss is a lesson. Pressure means people believe in you. Pressure means you've earned the right to be in that position. If you want to be great, you can't let fear dictate your decisions. You have to take the shot. Passion is easy. Everyone is passionate when things are going well. But when you're tired, when you're hurting, when the results aren't showing up, passion isn't enough. That's where obsession comes in. I wasn't just passionate about basketball, I was obsessed with it. I studied every move, every angle, every weakness of my opponents. I woke up at 4 a.m. because I couldn't stand the thought of someone outworking me. I played through injuries because the game meant too much to me. Most people are passionate when it's convenient. But obsession means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It means training when no one's watching, practicing the same shot thousands of times until it becomes second nature, sacrificing comfort for greatness. Obsess yourself. Are you passionate or are you obsessed? Because passion fades when it gets tough. Obsession never stops. I wasn't afraid to admit I didn't know everything. From the start, I studied the best. I watched Michael Jordan's every move, analyzed Magic Johnson's leadership, learned footwork from Hakeem Olajuwon, and even studied Bruce Lee's philosophy on discipline. Why? Because success leaves clues. Too many people think they have to figure everything out alone, but greatness has a blueprint. You just have to be willing to study it. I spend hours watching game film, breaking down moves, reading books, and learning from the legends who came before me. The best don't just work hard, they work smart. They learn, adapt, and evolve. If you want to be great, find the people who have done it before and study them relentlessly. Success isn't a mystery, it's a process. People think leadership is about giving speeches or motivating others. That's part of it, but real leadership starts with one thing: setting the standard with your actions. I never asked my teammates to do something I wasn't willing to do myself. If I was in the gym at 4 a.m., I expected them to be there too. If I was diving for loose balls, playing through pain, and grinding in practice, I expected them to do the same. Leadership isn't about words, it's about holding yourself to a higher standard so that others have no choice but to rise with you. Being a leader means demanding excellence, not just from others, but from yourself first. It means pushing people beyond what they thought was possible, showing them that greatness is earned, not given. If you want to lead, start by holding yourself accountable. Be the example, set the tone, and never accept anything less than the best. Most people want success, but they don't want the work that comes with it. They want the championship, but they don't want the 4 a.m. workouts. They want the accolades, but they don't want the pain of failure. That's why they never make it. You have to fall in love with the grind. For me, basketball wasn't just about winning. It was about the journey. I loved the practices, the late night film sessions, the quiet moments when I was alone in the gym perfecting my craft. The game gave me joy, not just because of the victories, but because of the work that went into them. If you don't love the process, you'll never reach the result. If you only chase the end goal, you'll burn out before you get there. The real reward isn't just in the trophy, it's in the struggle, the growth, the lessons you learn along the way. So stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for motivation. Learn to love the grind and greatness will follow. Greatness isn't just about working hard. It's about constantly learning and improving. From the moment I entered the NBA, I was a student of the game. I didn't just play. I studied, analyzed, and obsessed over every detail. I asked questions, watched film relentlessly, and sought advice from the legends who came before me. When I saw something that worked, I added it to my arsenal. When I found a weakness in my game, I attacked it until it became a strength. Curiosity is what separates the good from the great. Too many players plateau because they stop learning. They think they've arrived, so they stop evolving. But the best never stop seeking knowledge. They look for new angles, new techniques, new ways to sharpen their craft. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or an artist. If you want to be elite, you have to remain a student. Ask yourself, are you learning every day? Are you studying those who came before you? Are you breaking down your own mistakes and improving on them? Because if you're not, someone else is, and they're coming for your spot. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, opinions, negativity, outside noise. It's all designed to pull you away from what really matters. But if you want to be great, you have to master the art of focus. For me, basketball was everything. I cut out anything that didn't align with my goals. I didn't care about partying. I didn't care about what the critics said. I didn't waste time on things that didn't contribute to my mission. When I was on the court, nothing else existed. No crowd, no pressure, no distractions, just me and the game. Most people don't reach their full potential because they let distractions pull them away from their purpose. They waste time worrying about things that don't matter. They let doubt, drama, and negativity slow them down. But true greatness requires tunnel vision. If you want to reach the top, you have to cut out the noise and lock in on your craft. Remove anything that doesn't serve your mission, because when you focus completely, that's when you become unstoppable. The game of basketball evolved, and so did I. Early in my career, I dominated with athleticism, speed, and power. But as I got older, I had to adjust. I couldn't jump as high or run as fast, so I developed new skills: a deadly mid-range game, elite footwork, and a high basketball IQ. The greatest players, the greatest minds, the greatest innovators, they never stay the same. They evolve, they adapt, and they find new ways to stay ahead of the competition. Too many people get stuck in their ways. They refuse to change, and that's why they get left behind. But if you want to be great for the long haul, you have to be willing to reinvent yourself constantly. Look at the greats in any field, whether it's sports, business, or art. The ones who last are the ones who grow. They embrace change, they find new ways to improve. They never get comfortable. If you want to dominate, never settle for who you are today. Keep evolving, keep learning, and keep pushing yourself to the next level. Talk is cheap, excuses are worthless, results are the only thing that matters. I never cared about what could have been, what should have been, or what excuses other people made. All I cared about was the work and whether or not it was getting done. Every day was a chance to execute. Every game was a chance to prove that I was the best. And I didn't waste a single moment. A lot of people say they want success, but they don't follow through. They talk about their dreams, but they don't take action. They make excuses for why things aren't happening instead of taking ownership and making them happen. Success doesn't care about excuses. If you didn't put in the work, you won't get the results. It's that simple. If you want to win, if you want to dominate, then you have to be ruthless. And you can't half-step. You can't do it halfway. You have to be all in every single day. Because at the end of the day, results speak for themselves. Either you did the work or you didn't. No excuses, just results. When my career was over, I didn't want to just be remembered as a basketball player. I wanted to leave a legacy that lasted beyond the game. Mamba Mentality wasn't just about winning championships, it was about inspiring the next generation. It was about showing people what's possible when you commit yourself fully. It was about proving that hard work, discipline, and an unbreakable mindset can take you to the top. You know, people go through life without thinking about the impact they're making. They chase short-term success, but forget about the bigger picture. But the truth is, your legacy is what really matters. What will people say about you when you're gone? How will you be remembered? Did you push yourself to the fullest? Did you inspire others? Did you make an impact that will last? Winning is great, achievements are great, but legacy, that's eternal. That's what lives on long after you're gone. If you want to be great, don't just chase trophies, chase a legacy. Leave something behind that people will remember. Make your mark on the world I gave everything I had to the game. I didn't hold back, I didn't make excuses, and I didn't settle for average. And now it's your turn. You've heard the mindset, you've seen the principles, but talking about it isn't enough. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you push past fear? Will you work when no one's watching? Will you eliminate distractions and focus on your mission? The Mamba mentality isn't just about sports. It's about how you attack life. Live it, breathe it, be relentless, be fearless.